Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to cover the basic components needed for setting up an off-grid solar system. A subscriber from the Caribbean island of Jamaica reached out to me and asked if I could make a video on this topic. She wanted to better understand what are the required components needed and what's the purpose of each component in an off-grid system. Here's a basic tutorial on each component needed and its role in the solar system. So let's get into it, shall we? First component are solar panels. Purpose of the solar panels is to convert sunlight from the sun into electricity. It does it through the form of DC current or direct current. So that's what the solar panels are used for, to pull that energy from the sun and convert it into electricity. Now I'll touch a bit on the types of solar panels. So there are two types mainly. There's monocrystalline and polycrystalline. Monocrystalline panels are generally more efficient, but a little bit more expensive. Polycrystalline, on the other hand, a little bit less efficient, hence they are less expensive. Speaking on efficiency, there's one more method I would mention between the monocrystalline and the polycrystalline panels. There is a process when they're making them, when they have to polish to remove saw marks. And in the process of them polishing it, it increases their reflectivity. So they have to put on an anti-reflective coating, and the polycrystalline, they can get it down to 6%. When they apply the coating on the monocrystalline, it gets it down to 1.5%. So you see the difference between a 6% reflectivity versus a 1.5. So thus, the monocrystalline panels are able to absorb more of the sun versus the polycrystalline panel. So that's an important factor to mention without getting too far into the weeds. So I hope that helps. Second component, charge controller. Purpose for the charge controller, it regulates the voltage and current coming in from the solar panels to the batteries. There are two types of charge controllers, a PWM, pulse wave modulation, and an MPPT, maximum power point tracking. MPPT charge controllers are more efficient and can extract more power from the solar panels than PWM charge controllers, especially in variable weather conditions. Third component, battery bank. The purpose of the batteries is to store the energy generated by the solar panels for use when the sun's not shining or when it's raining or you're living off-grid. There are two types of batteries on the market today. You have your lithium iron phosphate battery and you have your lead acid battery. Under lead acid batteries, you have the following names: flooded lead acid batteries, AGM or absorbent glass matted batteries, and you have gel batteries. But those are all considered lead acid batteries. Next component needed, inverter. The purpose of the inverter is to convert the DC, which is direct current electricity stored in the batteries, into AC, alternating current electricity, used by most household appliances throughout the world. There are two types of inverters: pure sine wave inverters and modified sine wave inverters. Here we have an oscilloscope chart that shows both sine wave. You see the nice curved waves for your pure sine wave, and you see your choppy, squared, rigid waves for the modified sine wave. Pure sine wave inverters is preferred when using sensitive electronics like laptops, computers, cameras, hospital equipment like EKGs. Modified sine wave inverters are typically used on like toasters, hot water kettle heaters, anything that has like a heating element. It's not as sensitive as electronics. It's typically like a small circuit board and a heating element. So those tend to work better with those inverters, or you can use that if you had to. But the preferred one to use is a pure sine wave inverter. The fifth component needed is solar mounting system. What are you going to mount it? Are you going to mount it on the roof? Are you going to mount it on the ground? A lot of people don't touch on this, but it's important that it be mounted to something. You can't just lean the solar panels up on the wall on the ground and think that when a storm comes, it's not going to affect it. So I think it's critical for us to talk about that. The sixth component is the wiring and connecting devices. The purpose of the wiring and connecting devices is to connect all the components, meaning your inverter, your charge control, and your batteries, together to ensure proper electrical flow. Now we're going to touch on the wiring and connecting devices that you're going to need to connect each of the components together. When wiring up a solar system, these are the type of wires, connectors, and devices you'll need: solar cables or PV cables, MC4 connectors, PV isolators and PV disconnects, inverter cables, and battery lugs or terminals, fuses, and breakers. I would like to also add that by sizing wires and connecting devices correctly, this will ensure the safety and efficiency of your solar system. Seventh component component, system monitoring. The purpose of monitoring your solar system is to track the performance and health of your system, allowing for optimization and troubleshooting, and getting real-time data on energy production, consumption, and battery status. Final component, generator. Purpose of the generator is to provide an additional power source during extended periods of low sun hours, rainy or cloudy days. Types of generator are diesel, propane, or gas generators, which can be automatically or manually started when battery levels are low. In conclusion, by understanding the purpose and functionality of each component, you can design and implement an off-grid solar system that operates efficiently and safely, which ensures reliable, sustainable, and clean power. I hope this video has enlightened you on the components needed for an off-grid solar system. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, take care.